Hello and welcome to Horror and Monster Collectibles, where today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Mezco's 112 Collective Freddy Krueger from the first A Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So let's spin around and take a closer look. And here is Freddy out of the packaging. Now there is a lot of accessories here, so there is a lot to go over. Real quick, we will first look at the instructions that they give, which basically state that this is a collector's item and not meant to be a toy, blah, blah, blah. But we all know it's still basically a toy. Even though we collect them, it's a toy. First up, we will look at Freddy himself, which he is just over 6¼ inches tall. So honestly, he is a little too tall to be Freddy. I don't think that that's really scale for Robert Englund, who is a bit shorter. Although I have a couple of other 112 figures from Mezco. I have the Jason and the Myers, and Freddy figure is shorter, but I don't think that he's short enough. The body itself has over 30 points of articulation, so there's plenty of dynamic poses to be had here, but we're not going to go crazy with Freddy because he wasn't doing anything crazy in the movie. But we will go over all of the joints here. First, we will start at the top with his removable fedora, which is honestly always nice when they include a removable fedora. So not much going on here, but that's the fedora we will set aside and take a look at the first head sculpt, which is great. They captured the likeness of him in the original film extremely well. I always liked the first film, although the third, the Dream Warriors, is probably my favorite. But this was kind of more of a horror movie. This was kind of before it kind of became more cheesy and campy, when I guess Robert kind of found the character more and personalized it more and gave him some sass, which I love. But this first one, I believe that, you know, he just didn't, Freddy wasn't fully developed as a character yet. He didn't have his attitude just yet. But this head sculpt is amazing. Plenty of neck articulation, and the joints are tight and hold their shape. We'll come to the sweater, which obviously in the first film he did not have the stripes on the sleeves. Mezco has printed the green on here, but it still looks really good, and there's plenty of weathering on the sweater itself. Shoulders have tons and tons of articulation and movement. The only thing you're really limited by is the outfit. There's double jointed elbows, so lots and lots of movement out of here. And something that Mezco did that's really, really cool and I'm excited about in this figure is that the forearms are sculpted as well. And that's really cool touch that they took the time to do that. A lot of companies would cheapen out and not put that detail in. Let's look at his relaxed hand. Which the paint app and sculpt is phenomenal. We will go over to his relaxed glove. These are not metal blades, by the way, but they certainly look it. They have a brilliant sheen on them. And the paint app is very nicely done. And again, this forearm as well is sculpted. Again, something they didn't have to do, but I appreciate that they did. There is a mid-torso movement here, and then obviously a waist. The hips offer plenty of movement, although you're never going to get crazy with him, or I'm not going to anyway. Double jointed knees. And all hold their position very, very well. Like they move without too much argument, and they hold their shape, which you can't. I mean, that's all you can ask for in a figure, really. Come up here to the boots. There is pivot here, and then there's pivot here, although it is minor. Doesn't really offer much in the way of this joint. I do wish that there was more pivot in the ankle. But that is the body. So let's start to look at the accessories. Let's look at the alternate head sculpts first. Here is Smiling Freddy. Probably my least favorite sculpt, although it is done well. Then we have this one, which I like this one. Although his eyes are looking up a bit, maybe it kind of fits if he has if you have his face pointing down a bit on the figure. The paint app is great. They really kill it on these 112 figures. It is about twice as expensive as a NECA figure, but you get a whole lot with it. It's a little over, a little more than twice, but still, you get a lot. And this is probably my favorite head sculpt because I love this scene in the movie. And the reason why is because I get to see that. Which I love it when he has his face off. And this fits on there very, very well. Put his face back on there. The only thing I can nitpick about this is that the paint app doesn't exactly match in places. It looks okay around here on the side, but here to here you can see that the face is a little bit lighter, but it holds on there well as I toss the face to the side. And I will very quickly kind of show you how to swap out heads, which just pops off fairly easy. And we will swap it out for this guy because I like this sculpt. And it just snaps back on there. So that's how easy that is. We will set him back aside. And we will go over the hand accessories. So here is the pointing glove. Which looks really good. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I got a good thunderstorm going on over at the house. So you may hear thunder in the background. But again, these are really, really nice. Very, very well done and crisp details. Let's look over his left hands. Another favorite of mine is the chopped off fingers and the spurting green blood or goo. And this has very nice detail to it. and is a very vibrant fluorescent green on this hand sculpt. Then we have the grappling hand. Which again has a great sculpt and detailing, as you would expect. And then we have the fist. And swapping out hands is again fairly easy. Got a joint right here. So just pop this off like so. And then we just put this guy back on here. Here like that. There. And that looks rad. Up next we have the trash can lid, which is a nice inclusion, but I don't really plan on using it. But they have a great paint app on here and it looks very, very metallic and real. I love what Mezco does with these figures. They put a lot of time and effort into them. Here is the figure stand with the original poster art. And you can see here we have an insert where you can put the figure on. He's got a little hole in his heel. You can pop on there. Or if you want something, a more dynamic pose where he's not going to stand up on his own, they include a dynamic arm that grips the figure. And that way you can have him in a pose that he's not able to stand up on his own. And this inserts into the stand. All you do is you just pop out the insert that's currently in there and you put this in its place. But I don't ever use this. And then something really cool that I love about Mezco is they include a bag to put all of your extra pieces in so you don't lose them. It's just a nice inclusion. And here is a quick shot for you with all three figures together. You can tell that Freddy is shorter than the other two, but he's still, I'm pretty sure that he's not to scale as far as the body height of Robert Englund. But anyway, you can kind of see how all three of the figures look when they're together. And here's a higher shot so you can see the awesome bases that they include and how the figures look all together on those. I really dig them a lot. I love what Mezco is doing here, for sure. Alright guys, so that's about all there is to go over on good old Freddy here. I absolutely love this movie and I love the accessories that this figure comes with. So I would say that I definitely recommend you guys picking him up, especially if you're into the 112 Collective line. I don't collect anything outside of the horror line, so I can't speak to those figures, but I know people love them. But I can speak to like the Myers and the Jason and the Freddy. They do great things and they're definitely worth picking up. I realize that they're more expensive than a NECA figure, but what you get is a much more nicer figure and the value is definitely there. So as always, feel free to leave any questions or comments that you have on this guy and I will be happy to answer them. And also feel free to like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications for new videos. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.